Next guest, Marc Lotter, former campaign spokesman for Donald Trump, now at the America First Policy Institute. Marc, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. I'm jealous of your background.
We'll have you.
That's great.
We know you get down to Florida every now and again. In fact, we saw you down here last week. Come on down. We'll buy you breakfast at Benny's. In the meantime, you're on social media. I know you're on True Social, Getter, and Twitter. And I saw your tweet about gas prices. Yesterday, you said, and I'm sure we could say the same today, on this day in 2020, average price of gas was $1.83 a gallon. Now the average is well over $4 a gallon.
$1.83 a gallon. $1.83 a gallon.
And Donald Trump warned us about this, Marc Lotter. He said, you put Joe Biden in that White House, gas prices are going to soar.
And when you look at the map of gas prices, you can almost see the election in 2020 because they started going up shortly thereafter as the markets knew what was coming. And then it only accelerated. And, it's funny because you hear Joe Biden and he obviously, had a news conference again yesterday trying to blame everyone else for the problems he created. Yet, yes, the price of gas did go up because of the war in Ukraine, but you can see the line skyrocketing well before that. And then this just added to it. And this is the perfect example of elections having consequences. People see those signs every street corner as they drive every day, and they know who's to blame for it.
I'm glad you brought up elections because a lot of people in the chat don't want us to stop talking about 2,000 Mules, and they just want to keep talking about the movie. They want to expose what's in this movie. Do you have any thoughts about what you saw in 2,000 Mules in that movie?
It was really eye-opening. But the big question I have is, what are state attorneys general going to do about it? We have these examples from the 4 states, and obviously there are people, and many in the mainstream media, who say the data is wrong. Well, great. Let's prove it. Why are state attorneys general not investigating the mules themselves, but go to these non-for-profit organizations where all of these mules were apparently collecting, then going out? I bet you there's documents there if they haven't destroyed them yet. There's probably email traffic. There's probably some sort of accounting payroll where they paid these folks. That's where the evidence really is. It's great that they exposed the bigger problem. Now I want to get to the root of it and see if it can be a stop can be put to it.
Yeah, good point.
It's out of that nitty-gritty.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the midterms. We just teed this up at the beginning, as you saw, with Trump was right, and we'll point out when he was right. He might have been wrong about Nebraska, though. Mixed results this morning. He wins, the Trump-backed candidate, in that big House race, redistricting fight among 2 House Republicans. The Trump-backed candidate won. But in Nebraska, Mark, Charles Herbster, president went to Nebraska, had that big rally, got behind Herbster. He did not win. What happened?
Well, all of these campaigns come down to the actual individual campaigns themselves. And while Donald Trump can put you on the map or put you over the top, you actually have to run a good campaign, have a good candidate, have a good message. And sometimes, despite the fact that you could have the massive endorsement and support of the former president behind you, if someone else connects, if you hit on the wrong issues or your candidate's not the right mix for what the people are thinking, you can't win every single one of them. And I still think the president's record is probably well over 60-1.
Yeah, not a bad record.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Georgia's going to be a big test that's coming up. We'll be watching that, obviously, the governor's race, other matters there as well. Real quick, we've only got 2 minutes left here before the top of the hour. Your thoughts about this leaked Roe v. Wade decision, the pressure that the left is putting on these conservative justices, going to their private homes. It's getting pretty nasty. What's your thought about the impact on the midterms?
Well, it's just absolutely outrageous that the White House can't condemn these kinds of protests, which are against federal law. But also, I think one of the biggest points, and we put out a memo about this yesterday from Rasmussen, conventional wisdom about Roe v. Wade is wrong. And there's a simple reason why. When pollsters ask about Roe v. Wade, 72% of Americans don't even know what it does. But when you actually ask them about the issues, our numbers show 2/3 of America want state lawmakers to be able to decide the issue. Well, that's what overturning Roe v. Wade is, putting it back to the states. And the other key point, as the Senate gets ready to vote today, about 17% support abortion on demand up until the moment of birth. I don't know what Chuck Schumer is thinking about putting this bill on the floor for a vote, but it's disastrous for Democrats.
Pretty extreme.
Disgusting. It's extreme. It's just illustrating exactly how far they've gone and how far left they've moved, and that's why people are moving away from the Democrat Party. Even people that were traditional Democrats are looking at this and saying, "I can't support this."
Absolutely. Mark, we've got 30 seconds. Big rally. The next one I'm aware of with Donald Trump is the end of the month. We'll be there on the ground in Wyoming, home of Liz Cheney. What's your prediction about that race? Got less than 30.
I don't think it's even going to be a race. Obviously, I think that the voters will have their say. I think Liz Cheney's obviously probably out of alignment with what is going on in the state of Wyoming. The president's presence there is just going to highlight that, and we'll let the voters speak. But I'm fairly confident that we know how that race is going to turn out.
All right, Marc Lotter.
Can't wait.
We appreciate it. We'll have you back soon from the America First Policy Institute.